Okay, what's going on? We're back with some more Morpho. What page are we on? We are on page 34. I believe, yeah. Last time we covered some more of the torso. So now we're covering rotation. So we got a little bit of words here. It says the rotation of the shoulders carries the clothing with it, which then takes the shape of a screw thread along the side in the direction of the movement. Leaning on the arms and twisting the torso carry the garment along with them. Here the movement is broader. The garment is held at the waist and behind the neck, which forces the folds to run in front of the shoulder. Alright. Let's get in there. So how's it going? Hoping you guys been enjoying the Morpho series so far. Oh, is that too loud? Maybe a little too loud. Sorry about that. I'm going to get a mic that is damn, this thing's clipping, huh? Sorry about that, y'all. Alright, let's try that. That feels better. There we go. We're not clipping. We're not clipping. Clipping. Alright, we good? Alright, that feels better. Great. Yeah, let's start over. Okay, let's start over. Check. Okay. Yo. Check. Yo, okay. We're back with some more Morpho here. This is clothing folds and creases. We are on page 34 and we got some reading here. It says the rotation of the shoulder carries the clothing with it, which then takes the shape of a screw thread along the side in the direction of the movement. Okay. Leaning on the arms and twisting the torso carry the garment along with them. Here the movement is broader. The garment is held at the waist and behind the neck, which forces the folds to run in front of the shoulder. Alright, so let's get that sketched in. How's everybody? I wouldn't know how you guys, even if you answered, I don't know why I asked that. I'm like, how's everyone doing? Like everyone's gonna be like, oh, I'm great. Oh, that's funny. Good sunny day here in New York. Thank God. It was rainy the last couple days. Yesterday it was like torrential rain and then it became like beautiful, which was really weird. But I'm glad that today is very nice. I don't hate the rain as like a concept. I hate what it just automatically kind of makes the day kind of blow. You know what I mean? Like the day just becomes crappy, in my opinion. So I'm very glad that it's not like that. I got some stuff to talk about. First thing I want to talk about, I listened to Hum of Hurt finally. the newer Converge record. Converge dropped 2 new records this year. Love Is Not Enough and The Hum of Hurt. Now, Converge has always been a weird spot for me. Like, I like Converge as a band and like as a unit, but some of their records can be a little too much for me. Meaning, like, I like more of like their aggressive stuff. I like their aggressive stuff more than I like their like kind of drony. I've heard people describe it as noise rock. Like, there's just always a part of a Converge record. Like, a Converge record always starts off like really aggressive and just like the hardest stuff like you'll ever hear, where it just sounds just insane. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh my god, this is like crazy that these guys are able to make these kind of noises. You know, just these guitars are screaming. Jacob Bannon's voice sounds insane. They got like probably one of the best drummers in music, modern music, I would say. Definitely one of the best. They're just all really good at what they do. Like, Jacob Bannon has like one of the most coolest voices ever. Kurt Bayou on guitar and recording is just, oh, so good. But with that being said, there's sometimes where they kind of experiment and they make really long, kind of drony songs that I'm just not the biggest fan of. Like, their slow moments on their records, I usually end up skipping those songs. So there hasn't been a new Converge record since like a proper Converge record since, I forget. It's been like 9, almost 10 years. They did the Chelsea Wolf album, which I actually really liked way more than I thought I was gonna like. Because again, you know, it was kind of touted as being more kind of slow and experimental. And so I basically was like, oh, I'm definitely going to hate this record. But I put it on and was like really, really surprised at how much I thoroughly enjoyed that album. So I'm hoping that they're going to be doing Blood Moon 2 whenever it comes out. I think this band is firing on all cylinders. But anyway, what ended up happening was they released 2 albums. So they released Love Is Not Enough, and like Love Is Not Enough is probably one of my favorite Converge records. I would say, I would say honestly it's probably like one of my favorite Converge records because it's just non-stop, just heat the entire time. Just a really, really awesome, fast record. It just sounds like Converge being like, we're just gonna make a hardcore album, you know? Like, I mean, we're gonna do it through the lens of Converge, you know? And boy, did they do it. So I really like that record. Like, it's kind of like one of the only Converge records I like front to back. Like, there's not really one song I would get rid of. If I'm being completely honest, like, I feel like it's a 10 out of 10 record. Like, there's just not one song I would take off that album. So when I heard that they're dropping another record, I kind of was skeptical because I was just like, okay, like, that's cool that they're doing that, like, great, cool. And then I heard this is more of like their kind of droney, like they kind of separated the two albums. They're like, you know, we just had a really good time making these albums, and we just kind of kept going, and we ended up making another record that just felt more focused as well. But it's more of like the droney kind of noisy stuff that they're so they're like, if you thought the Love Is Not Enough is kind of too much hardcore, then this is like the record for those fans that like are more subdued Converge stuff. So I kind of was like, well, I think I'm gonna skip that because I hate that stuff from them. And so yeah, came out and I just hadn't listened to it. Finally, yesterday, for some odd reason, I'm thumbnailing right now a really big fight scene in Nosebleed, and I just needed something. You know, I just needed aggressive music because it's a pretty aggressive fight. You know, I really want the fight to sing. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna give this record a try. Let's see what's up. You know, because in my head I was just like, I like Converge. I think they're great musicians, obviously, but I'm just like, do they have a back-to-back banger in them? I'm kind of like, I don't know. I just was like, I found myself doubting the boys. You know, like I was like, I'm sure there's going to be stuff on this album that I like, but to me, like when bands do like a double album or something, I'm kind of like, it's almost like too much music. Like I'm like, okay, there's going to be, this is clearly just like leftover shit, you know, and like, I don't know, maybe they're like, hey, everyone really liked this first album, like, you know, we got some leftover stuff, like, hell, let's keep this thing going, let's just milk this, you know. So I kind of was like thinking like they were maybe doing that. Folks, gotta tell you, if you haven't listened to Hum of Hurt yet, go listen to it. It's fantastic. These guys, musicians this year, man, are really proving that it's not a young man's game anymore. I mean, it might have used to be a young man's game, but I was listening to the new De La Soul album again, and I was like, this is freaking good too, man. Like, these old guys can still do it. You know, I think with older people, I think you just need to give them time. Because I know Converge had been working on this, I guess both of these albums for a while. And maybe just kind of taking some breaks. Maybe just really just letting the album cook. And boy, they really did it. Absolutely fantastic album. It's still aggressive, you know what I mean? It's still Converge. I thought it was just going to be like, I don't know, like soft Converge or something. I don't know what I was expecting, but it's really good. It's just as aggressive as Love Is Not Enough. And I kind of feel like in some aspects, like maybe even more aggressive, because it's not so much relying on blast beats and you know, really like, you know, chugga guitars and stuff. Like it's really, you can feel the pain that Jacob Bannon is in, and the pain of the world that he's talking about, and the guitars are really helping that. You know, the guitar parts are weird as hell, and they're just like the drumming is also has some interesting timing on them. I don't know the correct word, but it's really good. I was very surprised at how much I liked this album. I listened to it twice yesterday. I went backwards now. So I'm going to draw these guys but smaller first, and then we'll do this big guy. But yeah, man, I mean, I don't even know any of the songs yet. I just kind of let it play while I was thumbnailing, and it's just a really I think this was what kind of sucks about music now, is that there's nobody's like reviewing music really, because I remember watching like Fantano talk about this album, and he said it was good. And I remember him saying like it's good, you know, but maybe he kind of gave like a review that was kind of like it's good, but I don't know, you know. It wasn't like a hey, go listen to this now kind of review. It was kind of like a, yeah, you know, pretty impressive for some guys that have been doing it for this long to be able to come do back-to-back albums in the span of like a couple months. That's like kind of like the discourse that he gave for that. It's just like, yeah, it's good. You know, it's good. So I just had no urgency really to go check it out, and boy, you gotta, you know, you really gotta just go do it. You know, like that's what kind of sucks about. Like I think the world should be like the metal world at least should just be like, how did they, you know, this is like kind of crazy that a band that's been around this long was able to put out back-to-back bangers. I mean, who else is that? That's like rap shit, you know what I mean? Like rappers do stuff like that, which I've always kind of wanted to see a band do that. Like, I'm like, how come bands don't just like drop mixtapes, you know? I think a couple bands have like dabbled in that. But yeah, I'm just like, I don't know, you guys, you know, just drop a mixtape. Rappers do it all the time, and look, you know, they got tons of material to like blast through. But I digress. Yeah, if you're a fan of hardcore music, hardcore bands, and maybe you've never listened to Converge, or it's been a while since you've listened to Converge, I think they're making some of the best stuff of their careers right now. Personally, as a person that's not I haven't been like a fence sitter on Converge by any means, but you know, I'm just kind of like, some of the albums that a lot of other people really like, I'm kind of like, yeah, that album's alright. I listened to it a couple times and didn't like love it. But these two are the ones that I'm like, dude, if I had never heard these guys, this would have made me an instant fan. So, I don't know, if you're looking for some very, very good emotional hardcore, give these guys a shot. I promise you won't be disappointed. Unless you like I don't know, like Bon Jovi or something, then yeah, you're probably gonna be like, yo, this is crazy. Damn, who is texting the kid? Kind of making me worry. I get like that many text messages in a row, I'm like, uh-oh. Okay. Yeah, hopefully it's okay that sometimes I just kind of just want to talk while drawing, and I don't really feel like teaching. what we're drawing, but damn, who is texting me right now? Is something going on? Is something amiss right now? I might have to check that. Okay. So this is kind of what I was saying earlier. Well, maybe not earlier, but another day where this is anchor. I feel like you can make up rules for yourself for wrinkles, right? Like we just did 1, 2, 3, and that, look at, like, that just kind of solves the problem, right? So that's something that I'm going to try to incorporate more into my work, is just like a couple wrinkles. All I need is 1, 2, 3. Here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Like, I feel like you can kind of, you don't need to go wrinkle crazy. I'm gonna do a little line of action. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger since we got plenty of room down here. This looks like an Olivier Coipel drawing right here. Coipel? I think it's Coipel. He is certainly French. Me and the missus might be going, we might be going to Thailand actually. But I kind of want to go back to France. But since moving to New York, the first time we went to France, and we had been living in Chicago at the time. So going to France when you live in the Midwest was such a crazy experience. Like, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to go home. This is crazy. Like, there's so many people out, like people are moving around, like places are staying open late, like this is so cool. Wow. Then you know, we moved to New York, and it's a very big city. Very, 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 very big city. Where it's pretty much, you know, the same thing. And so we went back, and we didn't have a bad time this last time we went to Paris, but we were kind of like lazy in the sense of, like, you know, we didn't feel like we needed to see every single thing, and that ended up making us have this weird time where, like, me and my girlfriend were, like, at the end of the trip, we were like, did we not do enough? You know what I mean? I was kind of, because, like, we got there and I was like, well, like, I'm not bringing home, like, 30 books or anything. You know what I mean? I kind of was like, I don't really need, there was, like, 2 books that I wanted, you know, or I was just like, I'll probably get a couple Jerome Bluch books that I don't have. And then other than that, I was just kind of like, well, last time we were here, we kind of went to a lot of bookstores, and again, I was kind of just like, I don't really need to be bringing home, like, a bunch of French books that I can't really read. You know what I mean? So I was like, I don't need to go into every single shop that we see that sells books. Like, I just kind of like, yeah, I'm good. And my girl was kind of on the same time. She was kind of like, all right, yeah. Okay, like, she usually likes to go to see museums and stuff, and I kind of was like, yeah, I guess we can go. But we didn't end up, we really didn't end up doing nothing. I mean, my girl slept. She caught up on sleep, and then I just wanted to go to brasseries and get drunk. I just wanted to get a day drink on. And she's not a big drinker. So she was like, I don't really want to hang out at a brasserie all day just drinking. I was like, why not? It's the funnest thing I could think of. So we didn't fight or anything like that, but we kind of were both just like, you know what I mean? Like we kind of traded one expensive city for another expensive city. So we were both kind of just like, all right, I guess, we really didn't leave home, Like our neighborhood is filled with like black French people, and then the neighborhood that we usually stay in France is also filled with like black French speaking people. So I was like, man, we really did not leave home like at all. It was very funny. All right, so page 36, flexion fold in the sleeve. So flexion, which is, I guess, this. This is a flexion fold. And then figures 2, 3, and 4 are carried along by the forward-leaning shoulders. The clothing is stretched taut along the rounded back. So flexion fold in the sleeves. What the hell does that mean? I guess it's when there's like a ball, like the ball joint of your shoulder and like the drape that causes is what they're talking about here. Okay. Ooh, yeah. All right, we're back. I'm gonna have to look up what flexion fold means, but I don't really want to use my phone. Okay. Let's get some of these drawn in. Okay, so very interesting. Flexion. I'm just going to write the word flexion. Flexion fold. Should I look it up just so we can have it on? I feel like it might just be like a made-up word because I've never heard that word before. So we have a circle here. So I'm guessing the flexion fold is basically anytime there's like a rounded point, like a shoulder blade or something, you're gonna have something kind of like this. Like it's gonna create this kind of thing. Going to create that kind of thing, which is interesting. Okay, and then I guess this is still technically our anchor point, right? Because then you've noticed that all these other folds, they're all headed towards here, or even one could say even here. All right, so then we have another example. Yeah, like you see, this is like an anchor to this anchor here. My caffeine is starting to hit, so I'm like really starting to draw like a maniac. Interesting. Okay. So over here we have circle, and then this is where the arm basically is. Alright. And then we've got, so you have lines, like stretch lines that are basically going across, and then you have that flexion fold thing again going around. I feel like this book is more comprehensive. So carried along forward leaning shoulders. So this is where stretches. And then flexion. Interesting, huh? So basically, I guess if to put this kind of sort of in layman terms, if the fabric is like up against the skin, right, like just right up against like the body part underneath it, there's going to be, it's probably either going to be stretch folds, kind of like this, basically, But where the folding is like kind of away from the body, like around here, like the stomach area, that's where you're gonna start to have draping effects that are happening. And all of this, right, still isn't random. It's draping towards this anchor point over here. So if you're at home, I would try to probably write that stuff in there. Right? Even over here, like there's no stretch mark, there's no folds because the shoulder blade is like literally, or not the shoulder blade, but that deltoid muscle is literally poking the fabric right there. And then down here, we've got another anchor point where all of these folds are headed, right? They're not just random. Down here at the pants, we've also got some, this could be another anchor point right here, because as you can see, we have lines going towards that, right? Lines going towards or emanating from. And then when we get down here to this knee, we've got more as well. So, anchor points. Cool. Let's see. Figures 5 and 6, an arched back causes the chest to stick out, which then tenses the fabric bunched up below the waist or at the buttocks in a seated position. So this push forward makes this, yeah, this is like an anchor point pushing forward. Interesting. Okay. Obviously, this is stuff that's a little tough to completely keep inside your head, but sorry. Drawing the wrong one. Two, if it helps, like in the back of this book, this guy talks about that a lot of these are just tracings. Like a lot of these are him, you know, taking pictures of himself doing these poses, wearing all this clothing, or taking pictures off the internet and you know, tracing those. So if that helps you too, like feel free to do that. Especially if you're just trying to like get in some quick practice. Ain't nothing wrong with that. If the author of the book that we're reading literally said they did that, so don't feel like you have to like fill up a sketchbook like I'm doing. I just personally like sketching in a sketchbook. actually isn't a really bad idea because I bought this year a new tablet and I really rarely use it. And this could probably be practice I could use my tablet for. I'm gonna write that down. Cool. Okay, so now we've got these figures here. Okay. Like that. Now let's get it sketched in. Man, remembering like this neck, man, like your neck really is not, your neck juts forward. It's so like, I don't know why I always kind of forget that. Then we have that like, we have that little like flexion fold right here. So I guess basically anytime you got to draw short sleeves, just make sure you're doing this little bump. Wow, that was crazy. Okay, so this is what I was also talking about the other day, right? You see how it's like, these are kind of, they're going towards a direction, but they're staggered, right? Like I try to keep that in mind when I'm doing my folds, so that they're all not just like this, like you're not making like cross hatching. Gotta move this neck over a little bit more. There we go. Oh, wow. You really don't see the shoulder at all. Cool. Sorry, this is like taking all my concentration. I'm gonna draw this one more time over here, just so I can get that in. Cool. Okay, like we remembered last time, all the folds from the back are all coming from those shoulder blades. So let's see what it looks like now from the back. Wow, this is intense. Right, even for something like little like this, there's just like a lot of lines going on. But the result looks freaking cool. And then again, you got that canyon. So if you're doing any like volumetric stuff, got that canyon. Okay, this last drawing in here. So if this is leaning forward, then everything is being pushed back. So it's like opposites. Interesting.
Just gonna draw the table in just to have it there. All right. Okay. Draw the little hat. Cool. See if we got time for one more page. Standing with one hip to the Standing with one hip to the side throws off the symmetry of the body. On one side, the garment sits on the waist, and on the other side, it is pulled toward the higher shoulder. In a back view, we can find the mirror image of the same logic. Here it is, the edge of the shoulder blade, figure 2. Boom. That determines the direction. Note, the alternation of the primary folds, which from the back view bounce off the various extruding points, shoulder blades, buttocks, and knees. So that's what this breakdown is. So it's like, you're going to have folds coming from, your shoulders, shoulder blades, your butt, and your knees for pants and stuff. All right, so let's finish up these last 2 pages, and then I think we'll call it for today. I feel like there was another band I was listening. Oh, The Pact. No, True Love. I got into them yesterday. They're cool. Really good, solid hardcore. Just straight edge. I forgot how awesome straight edge hardcore is. That sounds like I don't know what hardcore is. I'm calling it straight edge hardcore. But straight edge hardcore is different from normal hardcore. Like it's fast. It's like a subgenre. If you've listened to a lot of hardcore music, like you kind of know what I'm talking about. Like it's fast, abrasive. Like it's not just blast beats and stuff. It's not just like trying to be as fast as possible. It's usually has like a little bit more artsiness to it. I feel like it's like artful aggression, if that makes any kind of sense. I almost want to say it's just like smart hardcore. But I missed that sound. I hadn't listened to a band like that in a minute. And I was listening to Hard Lore's podcast talking about lyrics that sound like something else. And I guess one of the lyrics is I don't actually know what he says, but it sounds like he's saying washing pieces of lettuce. And I was like, this sounds hilarious. So I went to go listen to it, and I listened to the whole album like twice. Really short, fun, hardcore. So I guess, oh, okay, so with this tilt going up, because I was like, why is this happening? All of the wrinkles are now going down because this is now an anchor point. Anchor. And anchor. So it's like all the bunching now is being caused over here, because this is technically, this side is being stretched up where the shoulders are going, and this side is being crunched down. So less folds, I'm gonna write more folds. So crunch, and I'm gonna say lift. Yep. Write that down for yourself, like try to kind of paraphrase that, but definitely super duper important to remember that. Probably more important than hardcore music. But I find these bands, that's like why it's kind of hard to like leave social media like totally completely, because there are these like short clip videos of like podcasts and stuff of people talking about music that I like, and that kind of helps me get into stuff, get into music. Like that's how I found Cake Like, which is the lady from Reno 911. She had a indie rock band in the 90s. A really good indie rock band, like amazing. Like, I'm like really surprised that they're not remembered at all. Like it's kind of a bummer. Okay, so anchor. That's another really good band though. If you've never heard of Cake Like, go check them out. Both of their albums, Bruiser Queen and I forget the other one, but the other one's really good too. They've only got, I think they have 2 or 3 albums, but I've only listened to the yellow one and then the one that comes right after that one. But if they do a reunion show, I'm freaking going. I'll be one of those guys that's up there like screaming all the lyrics. They'll be like, all right, guy, why don't you let some of the girls get up here and sing these lyrics, please? But yeah, this is a example that's kind of weirder, I guess, because this is like looser fabric. But I guess because there's, you know, technically there's like a breast here. I guess this is pulling all of this up, right? But even still, right? Like, yeah, that's interesting. There's still more wrinkles over here, but there's still, like, these ones are still getting crunched, whereas these ones are still lifting towards an anchor point. And down here, it's illustrated even better than I can say it. Damn, dude. There's like something squeaking outside right now that sounds insane. So boom, goes towards the hip, and then this one goes towards the other hip. So look at how many anchor points you're constantly dealing with. A decent amount of anchor points when you're drawing, when you start to add that clothing onto a character. It's a lot to remember. So I guess you can just do this kind of straight line across, which I feel like you don't really see too much in a lot of drawings. Like I feel like I never really see this line. And then here, look at over here, like, right, like you don't have the flexion fold because I guess this is like a tighter shirt. Right? And then we're just going to draw on that little example. Tilt. Got that. All right, let's get in. I can get in this last one, and then I have to cut loose and get some actual drawing done today. But this is actually a good thing to leave off on. So. Do this one next. Sorry, this is a little sketchy, but... Okay. And I'm just going to draw just directly onto this so I don't have to. All right. Shirt comes about halfway. And then we've got anchor point, anchor point, anchor point. And I'm actually going to just write that down real quick because I feel like I'm going to definitely forget it. Okay. So let's see. Alternation in the primary fold. So shoulder blades. Buttocks and your knees. And I'm also going to say the pelvis because, I mean, look, there's like a bunch of stuff. I guess that's technically your butt. I'm going to say buttocks and pelvis. But I guess this is more so for the back view. Yeah, so back, anchor, points. Shoulder blades, buttocks, knees. I'm just going to do a really quick one. Just a little quick guy. Okay. Might not have enough room totally, so let's just do. I'm just going to break this up. Like that, and then I'm just going to do these legs real quick. And then we can get out of here. Great study sesh today. Radical. So that's it for today. We will bring it back to page 40 next time. Cool. See you guys.